continuation of their influence across generations. Listen to these profound words from the Kabbalion describing this. The Hermeticists understand the art and methods of rising above the ordinary plane of cause and effect to a certain degree, and by mentally rising to a higher plane, they become causers instead of effects.
So, you don't have to, in fact, I'm a big fan of the change up. I say don't keep an exact routine.
So I'm in prison, serving a 12-year sentence for smuggling 6.2 kilos of heroin. In that prison, they already tested the drugs 3 times. And then I felt free after 2-something years in prison. There was just this embodied state of, I've never felt more free in my life in losing my freedom. Then they called me into the office. Jones, we retested the drugs, which they had no reason to. 90% was fake, and for the amount that was real, you've already done the time, you're free to go home. So I've invested since 2005, traveling all over the world to see what was that strong, that it could override anything a human can say. That it can override the drugs. Like, really? 3 times, 6.2. But now it's just fake. When my energy changes, as above, so below, as within, so without. So the only thing that I kept coming back to, energy, frequency, vibration. Everywhere I looked, every stone I unturned, like, what was that strong? Yes, God, and God has a frequency, energy, frequency, and vibration. When I gave myself the frequency of freedom, my life had to match.
The way I personally do that is I move every 4 to 10 days geographically. And, but I usually get up at 2:30. I will never get up past 4:30. But there's some flexibility in there, right? And, my best days, and I'm super dialed in right now. I'm happy to report. My best days are like that. I'm up at 2. I'll do a few hours of work. I go straight to the pen and the paper. I'll see my phone and I'll want to grab it and check it, and I'll tell myself immediately, no, pen and paper. I'll do some original ideas that came from my time in the other dimension, sleeping, right? And you might not think you have anything from that time, but you might. You'll be surprised. So that's why I definitely just get to the pen and the paper. I want to talk today about separating from the pack a little bit. You want to separate from the herd so that you can find a strong pack, right? Determination. If your life ain't hard enough, hey, whatever. You'll notice though, the guys going through the hardest stuff, they have the hardest habits. They're gripped onto the iron rod, you could say, onto staying disciplined and correct and good and right and doing the right thing, as Marcus Aurelius said, and telling the whole truth, the truth, no matter what. Being this kind of valiant individual, valuable asset that runs with other valuable assets. And the idea is to become the cream of that, right? What are we doing? We want to be the best we possibly can. The real leaders out here in the world, and I'll say all over YouTube, it's hard to know. That's not exactly a place where you're in a position to intuitively measure the situation with a person. You're just kind of getting to know them through a video, which is better than nothing. The only reason you're seeing this video is because one person was grossly, brutally lied to and controlled regarding, her equally primary relationship. Anyway, that's all ancient history now. I've tried everything I can do. And again, so on this path now, I would say that I'm coming into this new YouTube chapter and more, serving a completely different purpose, something that I would have never thought just a couple of years ago, But now I truly have been called from above to start helping some people walk through the fire, and they're helping me. And this is the thing, we are supposed to be helping the younger guy, the older guy, age has no, right? The guy 3 steps behind in whatever situation, in whatever way, They can help us in one way, we can help them another. There's a humility to to the membership of a cohesive thing, All these guys, I said in my last video, I gave a reference. There's a link to the reference in the below of that last video. Super important, life-saving information. I don't really want to concentrate too much on the existence of these people, but we need to realize that there is an extremely developed individual, which we are trying to be, and there is an extremely developed individual that has no intention to do the right thing, right? They're very deceptive, right? And they, if they've stayed in this modality for a long time, it's not likely to change. And there's a real value in being able to discern between what's what, right? And some more of the dog gang that showed up. Living up here in the mountains, it's a whole different world from living in the beach, town, culturally, having a well-developed mentality is a whole different dimension of life than watching the Netflix and drinking the beers. Sharpening that inner blade to where you can see that you're a few steps ahead of a lot of people and your role is to help. But I want to come, I'm not coming to you, I'm the master of this and that, because I'm not. And that's just ridiculous things to be said. I'm 2 years and dedicated every day, 5 hours a day, personal development. A very minimal fail. And a very shotgun approach to several other things after going on a really just obsessed biological study. And that was really excellent and important. However, I want my life to have many more chapters than, a lot of people don't think about that, right? A lot of people are happy to just ride one big chapter, and they do. They usually hit a crisis about it somewhere, Oh, I've done this and this and this. I don't know if it's really, well, you should be having that crisis, and what you should be doing is stepping it up, not adding vices to your life, not having this stupid concept that you downloaded from some stupid populist herd member, because if you cannot see that there is an incentive to keep a workforce that is rather uneducated, rather toxic in lifestyle, because if we're always fighting with each other, if there is no cohesiveness, if we're all better than the next guy, he has nothing to offer me no matter what. I've said it before, I'll say it again. I'm not like a lot of these other guys who are like, fuck these peasants. If you can't make money, you're worthless, but no, man, I'm actually on the poor team. These people, they talk like they're hard and gangster, some of them, but they have no idea what the actual circumstance and experience of destitute poverty, or having people, parents that are locking their kids up to make money off there. There's all kind, being born in South Korea, being born in the hood in Panama with nothing but 2 sets of rotted out clothes and plastic shoes, in the hoods of different countries. You know what I mean? There's absolutely circumstantial situations that are near impossible for any human being. If you don't think PTSD is real, I promise we can get you there. If you don't think extremist poverty is real, I promise if I put you in it, you will not survive. You know what I'm saying? I'm a soldier at heart. I'm separated from the herd. I am a rare individual. I don't even like saying, I don't know how to deliver this correctly, right? But I want to just say, you can do anything anyone else can do. And there's a soldier mentality that we should have as biological symbiotic organisms in nature. We've removed ourselves by this very comfortable, convenient city. But I think we crossed the line in that. And, again, as I started out this piece, those of us who have harder challenges become harder people. It's who's gonna slay the demons, right? It's who's gonna accomplish that mission. You already know who the candidates are when crazy hard challenges are proposed, let's just say, right? When it comes down to selection of star players, it's the guy who is more prepared, So, self-dedicated self-development is just the smartest move. And if you put in 5 hours a day, compound interest really starts to show. People start to recognize that. A lot of us are coming from, again, whirlwind, black hole, pits of hell, right? I got guys in my group right now, and my program right now, that are going through hell. And it's challenging as can be to think of how to be there for them. But we got to be there for each other. We got to be valiant individuals. Who's the valiant individual? Obviously evil, I hope evil scheming minds who have no intention of taking things on hard and living in truth and requiring truth and cultivating a true culture, a hardcore Spartan situation where I can call my man and when I need him, he's there because it's who is in my membership, right? And that I'm selective, right? And so obviously you organize your life. You show up to help some people because you're a good person and you do the right things. And all of us, we should be sponsoring in some way someone who's just a few steps behind us, right? And not in a demeaning, disrespectful way. If you really respect yourself, you will do this in a respectful, classy manner, and you will cultivate James Bonds and James Bondettes that can do anything out here, you know, that can assimilate anywhere, that can accomplish any mission, that have that mindset that will survive. And this is within us all. Complete fitness is that. Complete fitness, we are really just purifying ourselves so that our soul glows and our mind is sharp, and we can do the most good that is possible for us to do in the world. As Voltaire said, we are guilty of the good we don't do. As Edmund Burke said, we are the only thing that evil needs to triumph is for good men to do nothing. And so we need you to be your best self and galvanize in that. And I'm gonna get this quote that came up yesterday, and I'm gonna go ahead and just read this thing that came up yesterday from the mastermind.
A refining force that strips away illusions, weakens the ego, and opens a person to the depths of understandings they never knew existed. It is often viewed as a suffering, but in truth, it is transformation. At its core, heartbreak is proof that we have loved deeply, that we have invested in something or someone beyond ourselves. And while the loss may feel like a brutal tearing away, it is also an invitation to expansion. Pain creates space. In that space, new wisdom can take root. Wisdom about what we value, what we need, and what is truly meant for us. Many people resist heartbreak. Trying to numb it, suppress it, or rush through it. But the most powerful individuals lean in. They allow it to do its work, to sharpen their insight, to strengthen their ability to love in a way that is more pure, less attached to illusion. They use heartbreak not as an endpoint, but as a doorway, a gateway to a stronger self, a deeper understanding of human nature, and a sharper instinct for what is real. A heartbreak is not a sign of weakness. It is evidence of an open soul. Those who have never been heartbroken have never truly dared to love, to dream, or to risk. The strongest people you will ever meet have had their hearts shattered and still found a way to build something greater from the ruins. If you are in heartbreak, let it strip away what is false and illuminate what is true. Let it be a teacher, a sculptor, a guide. You are not merely breaking, you are being remade. Damn.
I freaking love that.
That is insane,
like
dude.
Regeneration.
Wished I had had this information when I first started. When I first started to study this, it would make such an enormous difference. Because people are always asking, well, how? Why? What? I mean, they're forever trying to figure out, how do you really get what you want? And most people don't really believe they can have what they want. It's rather sad, but they don't. Now, the truth is, if you can tell me what you want, I can show you how to get it. You may say that's a rather arrogant statement, but it's really not. You see, I picked up a recording, way back, 61, 62, of Earl Nightingale's In the Strangest Secret. And on that record, he said, if you can tell me what you want, I'll show you how to get it. And as I was listening to it, I thought, this can't be true. But the truth is, it is true. You see, it doesn't matter whether you want a pony for the kids to take them for rides on ponies, whether you want a Maserati, whether you want to build a business, whether you want to develop a relationship. It makes no difference what you want. Everything comes to you exactly the same way. It comes by law. See, this whole universe operates in a very orderly way. And the more you study it, the more you understand that order. We say it's the law, the laws of the universe. So,
I just basically want to chain off what I was saying before. And I try to really, I'm not that great at video making, but that doesn't stop me from doing my reps. My formula is very organic, even though, there's no way I'm gonna come on here and say anything unauthentic. Oh, did you hear what I just walk away. And I feel like I've done a great deed for that person, not slapping the dog shit out of them. That would be the better deed, actually. Just slap the dog shit out and be like, listen, that's degenerative behavior, and it's going to end up costing you more than anyone else. Definitely, I don't permit that anywhere around me or within my ranks. So if you consider yourself with me in any degree, I look at people's habits before I select them. I look at what's behind the mask. We all have so much masking on, we don't even realize it. If you go out to jungle for 4 years or something, come back, you'll really see what I'm talking about. But we're all inundated, we're all inoculated with the spores of the culture that we're in and we're around. We are the sum of the 5 people we spend most time with, So I want to say, as I serve a small circle, I also make sure to reach for other small circles that are high above me. Small circle is the name of a story bubble in my Instagram, which has been restricted, which is why I've come over here. See, whenever I meet opposition, when life gets hard on me, I start to get hard on life. So, I'm just 1000% going to step up my strength as the resistance steps up every single time. And as long as I can see that I'm doing that step by step as the issue comes, and I'm being honest and I'm investigating and being a truth seeker, requiring myself to find the honesty, because that's the game we're in, right? It's on me. It's my responsibility if I didn't investigate enough and I didn't figure it out, and hopefully when I was misinformed, I didn't do actions in the name of that untrue, misinformed agenda with a root of evil schemer. That's why it's very important to, it's who. It's not only who's gonna slay the dragon, but who's gonna, one person can ruin your life just as much as one person can turn it completely around. And most of the ones who are ruining lives are trying to parasitically latch on the ones who can turn the stuff around. Evil schemers don't latch to each other. Anyway, I put a link in the last video. I'll put it in this one too, since these are my first 2 videos about selection, because it's everything, and so is your small circle at the top. That's the most important thing. So if you think I consider you in mine, this is a call, for both of us, that we're working with very solid people, and that's go time. Take the opportunity. Is like catching a bullet, dodging a bullet in the Matrix. An opportunity is, you want to dodge certain ones, you want to catch certain ones, you want to have those lightning fast reflexes and sharp inner edge, and you get that by daily accumulated interest in doing the right things, just doing what's right and just telling the truth. as Marcus Aurelius told us hundreds and hundreds of years ago.